But then I'd think, for a second I'd think, God, but I never opened the door. The door's still locked and I never opened it, you know?
Right.
But the person would be with me, and I was so lonely at the time because nobody wanted to see me.
Did you ever think at some time, I'm going mad?
But I'm obviously not mad, and that's the advantage of me talking about all this stuff that I'm talking about on this tour, because I'm not, you can see I'm not crazy, and I believe, you know, I believe what I believe. You know.
Me too.
Scar tissue that I wish you saw. Sarcastic Mr. Know-It-All. I'll close your eyes and I'll kiss you, 'cause with the birds I'll share.
The reason I make the record is because, you know, 3 years ago, when voices in my head were telling me that I had more work to do on this planet and that I wasn't finished as a musician, and the best music that I've ever made, I still hadn't made yet. That I was going to write more songs, and then when I did write songs, it was my responsibility to make them recordings sound as good as I could make them sound, and release them to people, because the things that I have to say can do a certain amount of people some good. So
how have you been?
Good. Slipped into a dimension there.
What?
Slipped into another dimension there. You turned into an interviewer.
Yeah, oh, yeah, of course. It's true. We already said hello, and now I'm saying hello again with the camera rolling and asking you how are you doing?
Good.
Yeah? You've been writing some songs?
Ever since I was 9, when I first started, I was really mad at this guy who was... It was my last time ever playing a sport, baseball, and this guy who I thought was a real jerk, I sat in the outfield and made up a song about how I thought he should die. So I went home and I filled up a tape with 45 minutes worth of songs. And ever since I've been writing songs, lately I've been writing a lot. I write a lot in notebooks, like I go through like a notebook every couple of weeks. And just do writing of all kinds, moody scripts, just stuff off the top of my head, like mathematics, all sorts of things.
I suddenly felt like I was looking at these thoughts from another perspective, and I wondered, who is it that's aware that I'm thinking? And suddenly I was thrown into this expansive, amazing feeling of freedom from myself, from my problems. I saw that I was bigger than what I do. I was bigger than my body. I was everything and everyone. I was no longer a fragment of the universe. I was the universe. And ever since that day, I've been trying to get back there. It comes and it goes. It's like riding a wave. Sometimes I'm on, sometimes I'm off. But at least I know where I want to go. And I want to take as many people with me as I possibly can.
John Lennon described the frightening experiences which he had that sound much like classical demonic possession to the Beatles' official biographer, Hunter Davies. Lennon stated, quote, "If I'm on my own for 3 days, doing nothing, I almost leave myself completely. I can see my hands and realize they're moving, but it's a robot that's doing it. It's frightening, really." He went on to state also, quote, I felt like a hollow temple filled with many spirits, each one passing through me, each inhabiting me a little time, and then leaving to be replaced by another spirit. As Neil Kingdom. According to rock critic Albert Goldman, these so-called sub-personalities that use Lennon's body, quote, manifested themselves vividly in his music, end quote. In John Lennon's song, Number 9 Dream, he sings about being in contact with the spirit world and magic being in the air and music touching his soul like a river of sound. He talks about hearing their voices, and then something strange happens in the song. You hear something that sounds backwards. Then when turned around, you hear what it represents, the voices of the spirits saying, John, John, John. John Lennon said, quote, but my joy is when you're like possessed, like a medium. You know, I'll be sitting around and it'll come in the middle of the night or at a time when you don't want to do it. That's the exciting part. I don't know who the blank wrote it. I'm just sitting here and the whole blank song comes out. So you're like driven and you find yourself over on a piano or a guitar and you put it down because it's been given to you or whatever it is you tune into. John Lennon couldn't have made it any clearer when speaking of the Beatles' success and stating, quote, I sold my soul to the devil. Yoko Ono also made a pact with Satan for Lennon and herself not long before Lennon's death. Albert Goldman reported in his book, The Lives of John Lennon, quote, finally it was time to consummate all these spells by making a living sacrifice and signing a pact with the devil. For Lena was not a white witch. She was the real thing, a practitioner of black magic. There was no knowing what she planned to do to seal the bond with Lucifer. All she would say was that a witch's moon was nigh and they had to make ready for the sacrifice. Lena said, quote, we've got to make a sacrifice with the blood of an innocent to the one who has the power. They sacrificed an animal to Satan, and Yoko ended up paying the Satanist $60,000. The price, though, would be far more for serving Satan. It would cost John Lennon his life and his soul. Yoko Ono said of the Beatles, quote, something did happen there. It was as if several people gathered around a table and a ghost appeared. It was that kind of communication. So they were like mediums in a way. It was more than 4 people. As I said, they were like mediums. They weren't conscious of all they were saying, but it was coming through them. Michael Jackson tried to deny his own personal involvement in the occult, but later admissions contradicted his denial. Satanist Aleister Crowley had a special secret room filled with mirrors wherein he practiced his black magic and contacted demonic beings. Like Aleister Crowley, Michael Jackson also uses a secret room of mirrors to contact spirits. Michael Jackson has admitted that it is in this room that he communes with the spirit of Lee Liberace. Jackson revealed that, quote, I have my own secret room with a moving wall and mirrors. That's where I talk to Lee. His is the voice I hear in there. I feel his presence so very close to me. Jackson added that Liberace is, quote, like my guardian angel. He's even given me permission to record his theme song, I'll Be Seeing You. Obviously, Michael Jackson is not in contact with the spirit of Liberace. For the Word of God states that one goes to either heaven or hell upon death. But like Satanist Aleister Crowley, Michael Jackson has opened himself up to the demonic spirit world, which is using him, like so many other rock stars, as a tool to damn the souls of men and women. It is from this demonic spirit world that Michael Jackson gets his songs. Jackson admitted, quote, I wake up from dreams and go, wow, put this down on paper. The whole thing is strange. You hear the words. Everything is right there in front of your face. And you say to yourself, I'm sorry, I just didn't write this. It's there already. I feel that somewhere, someplace, it's all been done. And I'm the courier bringing it into the world. It appears that it is these demonic beings that energize Jackson when he hits the stage. Jackson stated, quote, when I hit the stage, it's all of a sudden a magic from somewhere that comes and the spirit just hits you. And you lose control of yourself.
Always excited and grateful that I even have some songs that I can go into a studio and record. That's always the way I look at it. Whenever I empty the cup and pour myself out into a project, there's always, every artist can tell you, there's always a little fear that that may be it. You may never get any more songs. You never know. So it's a state of grace where you just accept that the partnership with spirit that you're related to is going to supply you with what you need. it's still an ongoing process. Volume 2, I am looking forward to beginning sometime in the future soon, because I just feel that I'm still in possession of a spirit that wishes to continue sharing its milk.
Fernando, your newest project is called Angels and Vampires. Who are the angels and who are the vampires?
The angels are those who recognize that what they have comes from spirit, and they wish to make themselves available to be vehicles, vessels of spirit. The vampires are those who tend to do what they can to stop the angels from recognizing themselves as vehicles of spirit. This is the epic battle, is between those who recognize that they are working with light and those who would like to keep the light blotted out so that they can continue to manipulate in darkness.
What separates this album from the last one?
About 3.5 years.
Yeah. What happened with the last one?
Basically, I think it was too different from what people were expecting me to follow up the hard line with. And you know, you have a choice, I guess, if you're truly aspiring to be a true artist, which, you know, I have been from the beginning. You can either go down the safe path, or you can always try to follow your instincts and your heart. And sometimes, if you follow the safe path, sometimes there's more guarantee that you're going to get immediate returns, but not necessarily in the long run. If you follow the path of your heart and your instincts as an artist, that's more of a risk that you're taking. But I think at the end of the day, there's kind of more peace within myself regarding what I feel I'm doing as an artist.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my girl, Beyonce!
I was very nervous,
So crazy right now.
of course.
Most incredible.
And I remember when they told me I was performing on BET,
Boy.
in my mind, I saw the set immediately. I said, I want something big. I want something that says, I'm here. Beyonce. And I drew it out. I drew out the ramp. I drew out the boxes for me and my girls. I drew out the lift right in the O. It just so happened that O was right in the center of my name for me to come down. I knew the dance. I knew about the pumps. I saw all of that in my head before it happened. And it's great when you visualize something and it actually comes to life. Come on! One more time! When I talk to my friends so quietly, who even did? Look at what you did to me. Tennis shoes don't even need to buy a new dress. If you ain't there, ain't nobody else to impress. It was way better than I expected, and Sasha was in full effect. Sasha is my alter ego. And when people see me, sometimes I think that when they meet me and they speak with me, they're expecting Sasha. And I'm really kind of shy, and not really shy, but more reserved, and nothing like Sasha. But I guess I wouldn't be very entertaining on the stage, so Sasha comes out, and she's fearless. You know, she can do things that I cannot do when I'm in rehearsal. I mean, I can try, but then it just doesn't happen. I can sing notes and sing strong and do all these things that when I'm just by myself, I can't do. And I remember right before I performed, I raised my hands up, and it was kind of the first time I felt something else come into me, and I knew that was gonna be my coming out night for the BET Awards.
Looking so crazy in love, got me looking so crazy in love.
Roman is a crazy boy who lives in me, and he says the things that I don't want to say. He was born, just a few months ago. I think he was born out of rage. He was conceived in rage, so he bashes everyone. He threatens to beat people, and he's violent.
That must be nice to have, like, an ignorant loudmouth who you can just sort of blame every...
He wants to be blamed. I don't want to blame him. I ask him to leave, but he can't. He's here for a reason. People have brought him out. People conjured him up. Now he won't leave.
Also, I want to find out about this situation with you have many, many different alter egos, right?
Oh, yes.
Roman is one, and then you have...
Roman is one, Barbie's one. She's like the little innocent girl. I have Martha, who's Roman's mother. She's like a crazy lady from London. And actually, she's gonna make her debut in the video that I just shot with Drake. It's for a song called Moment for Life.
Mm-hmm.
So we just shot that video, and Martha, like, you'll actually see Martha in the video. It's gonna be kind of weird.
Great. I can't wait to see her. All right, and it's good that he's with his mom, that Roman has his mom with him.
He's like such a strong person, and it's weird because he's sitting there doing videos, and like I found myself emailing him the other day about something that I wanted him to do for me, and I was like, when I just thought about it, I was like, that's so selfish, because it's like, what is the mind frame of somebody that's about to go to jail for something that has never...
You're still out here doing these songs, you're still on tour.
I do, but I don't take it for granted.
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I made a bargain with it, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my end.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And on this earth, and then in a world we can't see.
She's going to be mad at you.
Well, also my book is that, and I wanted to thank you because you let me come on your show and sing. And that was, a lot of my book is about my wanting to sing ever since I was a little girl, and my family lied to me and told me that I was better than Shirley Temple, and I believed them.
See, you're not helping a kid when you do that.
No, and I totally believed them and everything. And then when I was 6, all of a sudden, I was a happy. They started to tell my younger cousin that she was
she was the real singer?
Yeah, and it really upset me, so I summoned Satan, and I write about how I made it.
Where do you summon Satan?
It's in the chapter called Eat, Pray, Love, Conjure Satan. And when I was 12 years old, I signed a deal with Satan in my room, and I was to...
CBS doesn't condone this.
Wait a minute. Because I wanted to get famous no matter what, and, then I forgot that I had this deal with Satan and everything, and then I got really famous. And then one day I, had this tragic singing accident at
yes, I remember that, yeah.
And I realized then that Satan was coming for my soul. So, yeah, he wanted me to pay up, so... About that, and how at the end I invite Satan to dinner at Spago. And
you should... He's there most nights, but you should...
But wait, and I asked him to, give me a refinance on my soul thing. And so that works out. It has a happy ending.
Oh, so you and Satan are good then?
Yeah, Satan. I have to say it's really cool because I totally.
Satan is not true. You can't say that on CBS.
I didn't say that. I said I lure him in. See.
Oh, and then you have a fiddle competition. Yeah.
You're doing really well now, but didn't you release a CD like almost 10 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, I released a gospel record when I was 15 because I grew up in, you know, a household where all I ever did was listen to gospel music, and my parents are both traveling ministers, and so I kind of sang about, you know, what was going on in my life at 15, and that's how I got introduced to the music industry. I swear I wanted to be like the Amy Grant of music, yeah. But it didn't work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil.
So he went on explaining, he says, now, necromancy is in reality a belief, a religious belief. People believe that the dead have entered into a higher state of existence than they had when they were alive. Also that they are in a position and have the capacity to help the living here on earth. See? Then he said, he says, this is where things get really interesting. He said, according to the great master, a person does not have to supposedly call upon the spirits of the dead to receive help, you see, to be involved in necromancy. All he needs to do is to believe in life after death. Because he said, necromancy is the belief that man is a human being has an immortal soul. So anybody that believes that man has an immortal soul is involved in necromancy. And you take, for instance, like Loretta Lynn. She says on national television, and I have the data on it, that I heard it myself, she said that she was made successful in her singing career by a dear friend of hers that was the same age as she, and died when she was 18 years of age. And Loretta was trying to get into the singing world, you know, but she says, I had no success at all. Until one night I was sitting in bed reading a book. And she says, who walks right through the wall with my friend, the spirit of my friend? And she says, Loretta, I'm going to make you a very famous person in singing Western country music, and I will be with you all the time. Trust me. She said, her voice went through me, the power. See?
Now you saw this in a television documentary?
Yeah. Yeah. That was, I believe, in 1976 it took place. Now, the priest explained that when people believe in this business, they are actually opening themselves to be completely deceived by demon spirits, because it gives the demon spirits an opportunity to impersonate the dead. So, who are they talking to? He says, the friendly demon spirits that have always found over the centuries great delight in impersonating apparitions, departed loved ones, and persons of great renown.
Forbes just named you the most powerful entertainer in the country. You blew out Oprah Winfrey. How's that feel?
That's very nice. Only Oprah is infinitely more important and influential than me. I'm just grateful to have even ever met her, really.
Are you happy when you hear things like that, though, like Forbes magazine and stuff? You're like, does it matter? Or are you just like, oh, that's nice?
You know, what matters most to me is how the fans feel about the work that I'm doing in the music, but it's always really, really nice to get compliments like that. I really appreciate it.
Well, the fans are going to get to see you on Saturday Night Live this weekend.
Yes, I'm so excited.
And you did some fun skits with Andy Samberg before.
Yes, I did. Andy's so funny, and Justin Timberlake's hosting. So
right. Have you met Justin before?
I have met Justin before, yes.
And you're going to do, are you doing a skit with him? We heard you doing a skit.
I believe we are.
Are you doing with Justin and Andy, or are you just doing it?
You'll have to watch to find out.
Born This Way is out now, and you have bared your soul. You've given, your lyrics are really important in all of this. You created this album with a theme about being true to yourself. Tell me how you did that, and tell me what that process was like.
I was just really inspired by the fans of the show, and I was inspired by the energy of the Monster Ball and how free everyone was, and so excited about the future and excited about being young and being happy and togetherness. One of my favorite things about the Monster Ball is people come alone.
I wanted to know a little bit about how you prepare for a show, because you have so much energy and you connect with the fans. Like, what are you doing before the show, like mentally? Like, how are you getting ready?
Before the show, it's kind of like, it's definitely a mind state you have to enter into. Just kind of preparing. But you can't really think too much about it. You got to kind of just do something to get your mind off of it. Or like, fucking, I don't know, like, look in the mirror. You just get into a good mood when you go on stage and you know your music already, so you don't have to think about it. The main thing is not thinking about it. You have to just get lost in it.
So when you get on stage, it kind of just takes over then?
Yeah, like it takes over. You gotta just, I'm a completely different person. And it's like, I don't know who I am. I just go up there. It becomes whatever.
Yeah, like it takes over. You gotta just, I'm a completely different person. And it's like, I don't know who I am. I just go up there. It becomes whatever.
Kadoosh, kadoosh, kadoosh. I don't know. Sabayo.
Where do you find your musical background? Because I seen like a picture you had like Jimi Hendrix on your arm, like, you know what I mean? You're mad diverse. Where'd you get your musical background from?
My stepbrother or whatever, he used to always cop, like the Jimi Hendrix CDs, Otis Redding CDs, Marvin Gaye. One day I was just like, I wonder why he always listening to it. So I went and bought it myself when I got much, a little bit older. Right. I paid attention to the dude who really like Jimi Hendrix. He was a dude, he played the guitar left-handed, he'd go burn the guitar. And with my music, I always try to come from a left field, but a way that everyone can still understand it.
Jimi Hendrix, who claimed to be a voodoo child, stated, quote, "Things like witchcraft, which is a form of exploration and imagination, have been banned by the establishment and called evil. It's because people are frightened to find out the full power of the mind." The satanic powers Hendrix unleashed through his music, though, were absolutely destructive. Jimi Hendrix opened himself up to demonic beings who used him to initiate the hippie youth into the counterculture revolution. Alan Douglas, the executive curator of Hendrix's musical estate, admitted his spirit possession.
Now, one of the biggest things about Jimmy was what he believed in. He believed that he was possessed by some spirit, and I got to believe it myself, and that's what we had to deal with all the time. And he was very humble about discussing it with people because he didn't want people to feel like he was being pretentious and so on. But he really believed it, and he was wrestling with it constantly.
Jimi Hendrix's live-in girlfriend, Fane Pridgeon, also spoke of Hendrix's admission to being demon-possessed and related his demon possession to the reception of his music.
He used to always talk about some devil or something was in him, and he didn't have any control over it. He didn't know what made him act the way he acted and what made him say the things he said and songs and different things like that just come out of him, But at first I used to think it was a cop-out when he had really done me in, right? And he'd say, I don't know what come over me, you know. I really can't understand it. And, you know, he used to just, you know, grab his hair or something, or pull his hair and just stand there or cry or something. Oh, Lord, it was so sad when he would cry. Maybe he was the first man, or maybe the only man that I've ever seen cry, you know, but it just killed me when he cried, because he felt like, it seemed like to me he was so tormented and just torn apart, and like he really was obsessed, you know, with something really evil, you know. And he said, you know, like, you're from Georgia, you know, he said, I should know how, you know, people drive demons. He actually thought about, you know, if we ever go, because I used to talk about my grandmother and all her weird stuff, you know, and he used to talk about us going down there and having some root lady or somebody see if she could drive this demon out of him.
I sold my soul to the devil. I know it's a crappy deal. Lisa came with a few toys like a Happy Meal. If I could go back, I never would have rapped. I sold my soul to the devil, I'll never get it back. I just want to leave this game with level-headed Jack. Imagine going from being and knowing to seeing everything open. All you did was just grow up and seeing. It's fucking crazy. All I wanted was to get paid to the life. I want to keep you safely. I can't die, my boo-boo's about to have my baby. I think it's too late for praying. Hold up, her voice spoke to me and it slowly started saying,
bring your lifestyle to me, I'll make it better.
And how long will I live?
Eternal life and forever.
Or will I be the G that I was?
I make your life better than you can imagine or even dream of. So relax your soul, let me take control. Close your eyes, my soul.
My eyes are closed.
Oscar award-winning actor Denzel Washington told 60 Minutes exactly how he brings forth his best performances.
Basically what I did was got on my knees and sort of communicated with the spirits. And when I came out, I was in charge.
Powerful scene.
Powerful scene. I couldn't have acted that. I couldn't have written that down and made a decision to play that.
What, are you going to smoke that?
Nope, you are.
Hell if I am.
Yeah. You're Jesus freak. You're Jesus freak.
The one-woman entertainment empire known as Oprah has strong affiliations with the demonic realm. The most familiar face on television says,
"You can not only use your body and physical self. This is how I see acting. I ask my body to be the carrier for the spirits of those who have come before me in a way that is most meaningful to the character. Just become the vehicle for that character."
Calling out for these entities to take her over so that she may become a sparkling puppet, Oprah admits of her work before the camera.
I tried to empty myself and let the spirit inhabit me.
With her global influence, her shows have become a smorgasbord for the new.
And between me and you, do you believe in all this mumbo jumbo, this devil passing stuff along and woo and all that stuff? No.
What about you?
I believe in the devil, I think, but I don't know about all that other stuff. But I'm not going to say it's not true. But who's to say? Who's to say?
Who's going to start
you have
singing
to watch
you
the
and
movie.
me?
I've been an admirer of Aleister Crowley. I think that I'm carrying on much of the work that he started over 100 years ago, and I think the 60s themselves. You know, Crowley said, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law."
As goddaughter of Timothy Leary, America's drug guru of the 1960s, Winona Ryder is familiar with moving people through enchantment. At her best, which is considerable, Ryder can light up a screen with the skill of a sorceress. So writes Rolling Stone magazine of Winona Ryder, crediting her spirit guide for her cinematic exhibitions. Ryder states, "My grandmother is still alive and has a lot of letters and pictures of relatives, and there's this one particular relative who was my age when she died. She was a violinist and an actor, and she looked like me. I have had this feeling for the last 8 years that she was there guiding me and helping me with my performances." Vin Diesel also seeks contact with the supernatural, having stated, "I'm going to do my best to channel the character on a spiritual level." Golden Globe and Oscar award-winning Halle Berry also has spirit guides that empower her performances to be more convincing and alluring.
Oh.
Barry told Oprah how she was empowered to win her Golden Globe Award for her part in Dorothy Dandridge. Barry said, "There were many moments on the set when a sort of strange aura sort of took over, and not only me, but other people would say, they'd come up to me and they would say, 'She's with you today, I feel it.' And I often thought her spirit showed up to say thank you and to guide me."
As you honor me, who you really honor is the eminent Dorothy Dandridge.
Having endorsed on-screen homosexuality, spiritism, sexual immorality, and violence, to list a few, Leonardo DiCaprio believes himself to be a vessel put on earth for acting. Vessels are meant to be filled, and DiCaprio has opened himself up to evil spirits for this purpose. As Agnieszka Holland, DiCaprio's director in Total Eclipse, explains it, Leo's like a medium. He opens his body and his mind to receive messages coming from another person's life.
He's the new Leonardo DiCaprio. There's nobody like him, and he's like nobody. He's so special. He's a chameleon. He can do anything. It's shocking. I mean, he was just born to be an actor. It's the same way with Meryl. You see this, and you're dazzled by their talent.
DiCaprio's director, Baz Luhrmann, stated that with Leo, you might see 30 people come
that worship the spirits, you see.
Well, how is that different from the seance, Roger?
It happens that the seance are not involving in many ways. But when you get into a secret society of spirit worshippers, then, and especially when you're invited there by the direction of the higher-ups in the spirit world, you never get out of there alive. And this is exactly what my friend and I were up against. We didn't know anything about it. And there was a very, very popular big band leader.
Jazz musician?
Band, yeah. Very famous, played a lot in Montreal, Canada, Vancouver, the big cities. And he says, "How do you think that I became famous the way that I am?" Well, I said, "You must have had some good luck." Well, he says, "There's no such thing as good luck." He says, "There's either some power working for you somewhere, or you don't get ahead in this world. Not in my type of occupation." So it went from there. We got talking about spirit worship.
Did it intrigue you? Or did it make you want to find out more about what exactly he was talking about?
Yeah. So he said the supposed spirits of the dead that you're talking with are demon spirits. You're fallen angels. You're beautiful beings.
Just set it out, just like that.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't make you uneasy when he said they were
Well,
just
it shocked you a little bit, something that you first hear mentioned to you. He said, "You guys have got a great future ahead of you. Because we've been told, the high priest of our society, secret society, has been told that the master has very special plans for you too."
Now, what did he mean by the master?
Satan.